Ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before you to talk about something powerful, something profoundly transformative, the journey of a woman walking alone without the company of a husband. This is a journey that many women experience, though society may not always recognize or embrace it. It is a journey of courage, strength, and profound self-discovery. It is a journey that empowers women to embrace their own agency, to find their own path, and to build a life that is uniquely theirs, full of potential and purpose. As I speak to you today, I urge you to open your hearts and minds to the significance of a woman's independence and her ability to walk her own path, to embrace the beauty of solitude, and to find her strength in moments of adversity. I urge you to look at this story not as one of loneliness, but as one of profound personal growth. The story of a woman who walks alone is not a story of absence. It is a story of presence, her own presence. When we think of a woman walking alone, many may immediately think of loneliness, of isolation, and of despair. But what if I told you that solitude, in its truest form, is not a curse, but a gift? The empowerment of solitude is something that is often misunderstood. It is not the absence of people or the absence of a relationship, but the presence of oneself. In solitude, a woman can truly reflect, can truly hear her own voice, and can finally be free of the outside noise that often drowns out her own thoughts. There is a power in walking alone. It allows a woman to shed the expectations placed upon her by others, whether those come from family, society, or even the self. In the quiet moments of solitude, a woman can reconnect with who she truly is, separate from any role or label that others may have given her. She can embrace her individuality, not as something to be ashamed of, but as something to be celebrated. The empowerment of solitude is not found in running away from the world, but in standing firm in one's own sense of identity. Solitude is the canvas upon which a woman can paint the masterpiece of her life. It is in these moments of reflection that she can set her own goals, define her own values, and carve out a future that is uniquely hers. Rather than depending on the validation of others, she learns to rely on her own strength, her own judgment, and her own will. There is no greater power than the ability to stand alone and to trust in the choices that you make. In solitude, there is also the freedom to embrace change. A woman who walks alone is not bound by the expectations of a relationship or the need to fulfill any other external role. She is free to evolve, to reinvent herself, and to become the person she was always meant to be. Solitude provides the space for growth and for transformation. It is in these moments of solitude that a woman can decide what she wants for herself, independent of the expectations of others. A woman walking alone finds the freedom to explore, to create, and to imagine a future that excites her. There is no one holding her back, no one telling her what she can or cannot do. The world is full of possibilities, and it is in the solitude of her own company that she can explore them fully. This is the true empowerment of solitude, not just the absence of others, but the presence of infinite possibilities that come with being alone and being true to oneself. The empowerment of solitude is not about rejecting relationships or partnerships. It is about recognizing that true strength comes from within. It is about knowing that a woman does not need to rely on anyone else to define her worth or her purpose. When she learns to stand alone, she learns to stand tall, to face the world with courage, and to live a life that is authentic and unapologetically hers. Independence is a word that often carries heavy connotations, especially for women. For so long, society has defined a woman's worth by her relationships, whether as a wife, a mother, or a daughter. But what happens when a woman chooses to walk alone without the confines of these traditional roles? She redefines independence on her own terms. Independence, in its truest sense, is not about being isolated or being disconnected from the world. It is about having the freedom to make choices for oneself. A woman who walks alone is not simply independent in a logistical sense, but in every facet of her life. She does not rely on the validation of others to define her decisions. She makes choices based on her own desires, goals, and beliefs. And redefining independence means freeing oneself from societal pressures that dictate how a woman should live. It is a liberation from the notion that a woman must be in a relationship to be complete, or that her value is tied to her role in the family. A woman who walks alone chooses to define her worth not by the expectations of others, but by her own actions, dreams, and accomplishments. Independence, in this sense, is not about rejecting love or companionship. It is about recognizing that true independence comes from the ability to love oneself first and foremost. A woman who is independent does not look to another person to fill a void or to define her happiness. She understands that her happiness and fulfillment come from within, and that she is complete on her own. My view is that love is a path, a relationship, a home, a bedroom, and a health. Redefining independence also means embracing the idea that a woman can thrive without needing anyone else to validate her existence. It is the power of self-sufficiency, of knowing that you are capable of achieving everything you set your mind to. A woman who walks alone is fully capable of creating the life she desires, and she does so without needing anyone else's approval. This redefined independence is a revolutionary act. It challenges the traditional norms that tell women they are incomplete without a partner. It invites women to see themselves as whole beings, capable of achieving greatness, create change, and leading fulfilling lives on their own terms. There's a profound strength in vulnerability, something that is often overlooked in a woman walking alone. Vulnerability is often seen as weakness, especially in a society that encourages women to be strong, independent, and stoic. But true strength comes not from hiding one's vulnerabilities, but from embracing them. A woman who walks alone does not hide from her emotions or her fears. Instead, she faces them head on. She is not afraid to feel deeply, to experience the highs and lows of life, because she knows that vulnerability is a part of the human experience. It is through vulnerability that a woman discovers her true strength, for it is when we are vulnerable that we open ourselves up to growth, healing, and transformation. Vulnerability is also the key to deep connection. A woman who embraces her vulnerability understands that it is through being open and authentic that she can build meaningful relationships, whether with herself or with others. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we create space for others to do the same. This mutual exchange of vulnerability is what leads to true connection and understanding. In walking alone, a woman learns to embrace her vulnerability not as a flaw, but as a source of power. She knows that she does not have to be perfect to be strong. She does not have to have it all together. She is allowed to be human, to make mistakes, and to learn from them. It is this acceptance of vulnerability that allows her to grow and evolve in ways that are impossible when we try to hide behind facades. A woman who walks alone understands that vulnerability is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of courage. It takes courage to allow oneself to be seen, to share one's true self with the world. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to admit that you do not have all the answers, and to ask for help when you need it. This is the kind of strength that is forged in the fire of vulnerability. True strength is not about building walls around our emotions or our experiences. It is about allowing ourselves to be open and authentic. A woman who walks alone knows that vulnerability is not something to be ashamed of. Instead, she sees it as a source of her power, her growth, and her transformation. The journey of a woman walking alone is one of reclaiming her voice. For too long, women have been silenced by societal expectations, by traditional gender roles, and even by their own inner doubts. But when a woman chooses to walk alone, she reclaims the power of her own voice. A woman who walks alone is not afraid to speak her truth, to share her thoughts and feelings, and to stand firm in her beliefs. She understands that her voice matters, that her perspective is valuable, and that her experiences are worthy of being heard. She does not allow anyone to diminish her voice or to make her feel small. Reclaiming her voice also means letting go of the need for approval from others. A woman who walks alone does not seek validation from the outside world. She finds validation within herself, knowing that her voice is valid simply because it is hers. She is no longer afraid to speak up, to stand tall, and to make her presence known. Reclaiming her voice is also about setting boundaries. It is about learning to say no when necessary, to protect her own space, and to prioritize her own needs. A woman who walks alone understands that her voice is powerful, and she uses it to create the life she desires. She does not allow anyone to dictate her path or to silence her dreams. The act of reclaiming her voice is an act of liberation. It is a refusal to be silenced, to be ignored, or to be dismissed. A woman who walks alone refuses to accept a life in which she is not heard, in which her thoughts and feelings are not valued. She steps into the world with confidence, knowing that her voice is worthy of being heard and that her contributions are significant. Reclaiming her voice is not just about speaking out, it is about listening to oneself too. A woman who walks alone learns to listen to her own heart, to trust her own intuition, and to follow her own inner guidance. She recognizes that her voice is not only something she shares with others, but something she listens to within herself. Living authentically takes courage, especially in a world that often expects conformity. A woman who walks alone has the courage to live authentically, to be true to herself, despite the pressures of society, family, or relationships. She does not mold herself to fit anyone's expectations, but instead embraces who she truly is. Living authentically means rejecting the idea that a woman must live a certain way in order to be accepted. A woman who walks alone understands that her worth is not determined by her ability to conform to societal norms. Instead, she defines her own path, her own identity, and her own purpose. She has the courage to be herself, to make her own choices, and to follow her own dreams. This authenticity is a revolutionary act. It challenges the status quo and calls for a new way of living, one where women are free to be who they are, without apologies or compromises. A woman who walks alone refuses to be confined by traditional expectations of what a woman should be or how she should behave. She creates her own definition of success, happiness, and fulfillment. Living authentically also means being vulnerable enough to show the world who you truly are, without fear of judgment or rejection. A woman who walks alone has the courage to be seen in her true light, with all of her flaws and imperfections. She knows that authenticity is not about perfection, but about being real, about embracing both the light and the dark aspects of herself. So, this courage to live authentically is not easy, especially in a world that often demands conformity. But a woman who walks alone knows that the only way to live a truly fulfilled life is to live it on her own terms, according to her own values, and guided by her own truth. She understands that authenticity is the key to happiness, peace, and self-love. The courage to live authentically is also about letting go of fear. It is about stepping into the unknown with the belief that you are capable, that you are worthy, and that you have everything within you to create the life you desire. A woman who walks alone knows that living authentically requires bravery, but she also knows that it is the only way to live a life of true meaning. Self-love is the foundation of everything. A woman who walks alone knows that in order to truly thrive, she must first learn to love herself. This is not a narcissistic or selfish love, but a deep, unconditional love that honors and respects who she is. Self-love is a recognition that a woman is worthy of happiness, success, and all the good things life has to offer. Self-love means accepting oneself fully, with all the flaws and imperfections. A woman who walks alone embraces her own humanity, understanding that she does not need to be perfect to be worthy of love. She learns to forgive herself, to nurture herself, and to treat herself with kindness and compassion. A woman who loves herself does not settle for less than she deserves. She knows her worth and refuses to compromise on her values or her dreams. She does not allow anyone to treat her poorly or to diminish her sense of self-worth. Self-love is the armor that protects her, the shield that allows her to stand strong in the face of adversity. Embracing self-love also means prioritizing one's own well-being. A woman who walks alone understands that her health, both mental and physical, is a top priority. She does not neglect herself in order to please others or to meet external expectations. She makes self-care a regular part of her routine, knowing that by taking care of herself, she is better able to show up for others and for the world. Self-love is not just about taking care of the body, it is also about nurturing the mind and the soul. A woman who walks alone knows that true self-love involves nourishing all parts of herself, from her thoughts and beliefs to her emotions and dreams. It is a holistic love that encompasses every aspect of her being. Through self-love, a woman walking alone cultivates a sense of inner peace. She learns to trust herself, to honor her needs, and to listen to her inner wisdom. This self-love is not contingent upon external circumstances. It comes from within and is unshakable. It is the bedrock upon which all other achievements and relationships are built. A woman who walks alone understands that her life is hers to create. She is not a passive participant in her own story, waiting for life to happen to her. Instead, she is the author of her own destiny, the one who decides what her life will look like and what she will achieve. Creating her own destiny means taking responsibility for her choices and actions. It means being proactive in shaping her future rather than waiting for opportunities to come to her. A woman who walks alone understands that her success is the result of her hard work, perseverance, and belief in herself. Creating her own destiny also means overcoming fear and self-doubt. A woman who walks alone knows that the road to success is not always easy, but she is determined to walk it with courage and resilience. She embraces challenges as opportunities to grow and to learn, knowing that every setback is just a step toward her ultimate goal. Open Mindset with Alexis Lissamilia. A woman who creates her own destiny does not wait for permission. She takes bold steps toward her dreams, even when others may doubt her or tell her it's impossible. She understands that her destiny is in her hands and that she has the power to shape it according to her vision. Creating her own destiny also means embracing failure as a part of the journey. A woman who walks alone does not fear failure. She understands that it is not the end, but a lesson along the way. Each failure teaches her something valuable, whether it is about herself or about the world around her. In the process of creating her own destiny, a woman discovers her true purpose. She uncovers the passions and dreams that were always within her, but may have been buried under societal expectations or self-doubt. A woman who walks alone is not afraid to dream big and to pursue her goals with relentless determination. Finally, creating her own destiny means living a life that is aligned with her values and passions. A woman who walks alone is not willing to settle for anything less than the life she truly desires. She creates her own path, following the calling of her heart, and trusting that she has everything she needs to fulfill her dreams. Adversity is an inevitable part of life, and it can be particularly challenging for a woman walking alone. But a woman who chooses to walk this path knows that adversity does not define her, it refines her. She finds strength, not in avoiding difficulties, but in facing them head-on, armed with the resilience and determination that she has cultivated along the way. Adversity can come in many forms: personal loss, professional setbacks, or societal challenges. But through it all, a woman who walks alone knows that each obstacle is an opportunity to grow. She does not let adversity defeat her. She allows it to shape her into a stronger, more determined version of herself. In the face of adversity, a woman walking alone learns to rely on her inner strength. She draws from the well of courage and resilience that she has built over time. She understands that while she may not be able to control the challenges that come her way, she can control how she responds to them. Adversity also teaches a woman the value of perseverance. A woman who walks alone does not give up when things get tough. Instead, she digs in her heels and keeps moving forward step by step. She knows that success is often built on a foundation of struggle, and that persistence is the key to overcoming even the greatest of challenges. Through adversity, a woman walking alone also learns the importance of adaptability. She understands that life is unpredictable and that she must be flexible in order to navigate the ups and downs. She learns to adjust her course when necessary, always keeping her eye on the bigger picture and the ultimate goal. Finding strength in adversity also means leaning into community and support when needed. A woman walking alone is not afraid to ask for help, to reach out for support, or to connect with others. She understands that while she is capable of facing challenges on her own, she does not have to do it alone. Finally, adversity teaches a woman the value of gratitude. Even in the toughest times, she learns to find moments of gratitude and to appreciate the lessons that adversity brings. She understands that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to evolve, and to become stronger than she was before. Self-reflection is an essential part of the journey of a woman walking alone. It is in moments of quiet reflection that she can truly understand herself, her desires, and her purpose. Self-reflection allows her to take stock of her progress, to evaluate her choices, and to make adjustments as needed. Through self-reflection, a woman can gain clarity about her goals and her direction. She can examine her motivations, her fears, and her strengths. Self-reflection allows her to identify areas where she may need to grow and to celebrate the achievements that she has made along the way. Self-reflection also helps a woman to develop self-awareness. By taking the time to reflect on her thoughts, actions, and feelings, she gains a deeper understanding of who she is and what she truly wants. This self-awareness is the foundation for making informed decisions and living a life that aligns with her true self. Through self-reflection, a woman walking alone is able to refine her goals, reassess her values, and determine what changes are necessary for her continued growth. It is through these moments of introspection that she learns the most profound lessons about her own potential and capacity for transformation. Self-reflection is also a tool for healing. A woman who walks alone may encounter difficult experiences that leave emotional scars. But in taking the time to reflect, she can process these emotions, understand their roots, and begin to heal. It is a means by which she can release past pain, forgive herself and others, and move forward with a renewed sense of peace and strength. This healing process is not always easy, but it is one of the most powerful ways a woman can reclaim her power and embrace the future with confidence. Moreover, self-reflection allows a woman to learn from her mistakes. It encourages her to take a step back, to evaluate her past actions, and to consider what she would do differently next time. This practice of learning and evolving is crucial for anyone walking alone, as it enables her to make better decisions in the future and grow from every experience, whether it be a triumph or a failure. Through self-reflection, a woman also cultivates self-compassion. She learns to be kind to herself, to recognize that she is doing the best she can and that perfection is not the goal, growth is. Self-reflection teaches her to embrace her humanity, to accept her flaws, and to celebrate her strengths. This deep sense of self-compassion fosters a positive relationship with herself, which in turn allows her to show up more fully for others. In addition, self-reflection allows a woman to find purpose and meaning in her journey. By reflecting on her experiences, her dreams, and her values, she can better understand the path she is meant to follow. She may not have all the answers right away, but through reflection, she uncovers the whispers of her heart, guiding her toward the life she was meant to live. Self-reflection ultimately is a vital practice that empowers a woman walking alone to live a more intentional, purposeful, and fulfilled life. It gives her the clarity to make wise decisions, the strength to face challenges, and the grace to forgive herself. Through reflection, she not only learns who she is, but also who she is capable of becoming. A woman who walks alone has the freedom to build a life without boundaries. Boundaries that others may try to impose on her based on outdated norms or restrictive expectations. When a woman chooses to walk alone, she steps into the limitless possibilities of her own potential. There are no fences holding her in, no walls confining her. She is free to chart her own course, and in doing so, she creates a life that is truly her own. Building a life without boundaries means embracing the idea that there is no one-size-fits-all path. A woman who walks alone is not limited by traditional narratives of success or happiness. She doesn't have to follow the expected trajectory laid out by society, family, or culture. Instead, she has the freedom to decide what success looks like for her what happiness means to her, and what kind of life she wants to create. This sense of limitless possibility fuels her confidence and creativity. A woman walking alone can take risks, explore new avenues, and chase dreams that others might deem impractical or unattainable. Without the limitations of external expectations, she can embrace her passions fully, knowing that she is the one who has the power to shape her destiny. Building a life without boundaries also means breaking free from the restrictions that self-doubt may impose. A woman walking alone often faces inner critics that tell her she isn't capable, she's not enough, or she doesn't deserve to dream big. But she knows that these internal boundaries are just illusions, obstacles created by fear and insecurity. By pushing past these internal barriers, she finds that she is capable of achieving things she never thought possible. In the process of building a life without boundaries, a woman learns to set her own terms. She defines her own values, decides her own priorities, and chooses the relationships and opportunities that align with her authentic self. She no longer feels obligated to live up to someone else's vision for her life. Instead, she creates a vision that is uniquely hers, one that reflects her deepest desires, dreams, and aspirations. This journey also allows a woman to embrace the concept of expansion. When there are no boundaries holding her back, she grows in ways she may have never anticipated. She learns to push beyond her comfort zone, explore new possibilities, and evolve as a person. The more she steps outside the lines the society may have drawn for her, the more expansive her life becomes. Building a life without boundaries does not mean that she is immune to challenges or setbacks. On the contrary, it means that she is willing to face those challenges with courage and resilience. She does not let obstacles stop her or keep her confined. Instead, she views them as opportunities to expand her horizons and build her strength. The boundaries she once thought were insurmountable become stepping stones on her path toward her ultimate goals. The lines were not alone. In conclusion, the journey of a woman walking alone is not a journey of loneliness or isolation. It is a journey of self-discovery, growth, and empowerment. It is a journey where she learns to embrace the strength in solitude, redefine her independence, reclaim her voice, and live authentically. It is a journey where she finds courage in vulnerability, builds a life without boundaries, and discovers the limitless potential within herself. A woman walking alone is not alone in the sense that she is without companionship. She is simply alone in the sense that she chooses to walk her own path. She is not defined by others' expectations or limited by traditional roles. She is free to create her own life, and in doing so, she discovers a profound strength and a deep sense of fulfillment that can only come from walking her own path. So, to all the women who walk alone, I say this: your journey is not one of solitude, but one of limitless possibility. You are not alone in your quest for meaning and purpose. You are empowered, independence, your resilience, and your ability to create the life you desire. Continue walking, continue growing, and continue embracing the infinite power that lies within.